Alright, I guess this will be the part of start 4. So I went and finished off the main section of Shirley's arm. I just gotta now attach the fingers to her hand. I'll actually be doing that tomorrow. Now the reason why I haven't been doing much recording is because I've kind of been busy doing other stuff, mainly being lazy. I did spend yesterday actually putting this whole arm together. Believe it or not, for something as simple as this, it took a whole day just to do this. Again, I'm just simply cutting and just gluing it together. I'm not going super overboard with the reinforcements like I do with legs and whatnot. But even just something as simple as this took over a day to do. Give me a second, gotta sneeze. But yeah, as I was saying, this is going to be the part of this is going to be start of part 4. And my plan is to build the fingers all in one go. I'm probably most likely not pop in when I'm building the fingers, but who knows? Just like with Rim, May, and Freya, it's going to take me about 5 hours or so to build fingers. And then once that's done, it's probably going to take me about maybe 30 or so odd minutes to get the hand to actually properly mount into here and whatnot, mainly because I'll probably end up having to reseat it a few times and reheat the hot glue a few times, but I'm just going off of what happened in the past. And once all that's done, then I can start the whole process of actually properly attaching Shirley's face to a pole and then actually building some type of connection point in here so the pole can actually have something to rest on into and whatnot. So that's going to be fun, but I'm not going to worry about that until I actually get her hand made and whatnot. So there's also that. Also, another thing that's kind of been taking up my time is the trash fires that have been currently going on in this stupid country we got right now. Mainly watching a bunch of people getting their crap pushed in, to say the least. Basically, one dude ended up looking like a Shirley right now. Granted, he still has a head and whatnot, but his time's kind of gone now if you actually know what's going on. But that was fun. All I'll say on that particular front is play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Also, this stupid Japanese hentai game's kind of been taking up my time. When I play this game, I'm more eyeing the actual models and actually in participating in the actual hentai function of this game. But this has been kind of taking up my time too. Been finding new characters to download, see what they look like, see how their personalities are and whatnot. But like I said, I don't take in the hentai portion of this game, but yeah. But I did stop this game and blue ball myself when I learned what happened earlier about yesterday. Granted, I'll be uploading this video quite a few days after this part, but still. I was blue balled for that whole night because it was just glorious watching all those dum-dums win stupid prizes. Oh yeah, another thing is, of course I don't have Flight Sim X or Flight Sim 2020 running right now, but another thing I was actually doing was flying around in the Hurricane with a bunch of other people that are doing the multiplayer aspect of Flight Sim 2020. I was legit surprised to see so many little dots just hovering around where the Hurricane is in Flight Sim 2020. So that's another thing that's been taking up my time. But like I said, when I come back, well, I mean, I'm going to say it now. When I come back, I'll most likely have Shirley's hand fully complete, or I'll be in the process of attaching it to her arm. So with that said, let's get on with this video and actually get down to what these stupid uploads are supposed to be. Me building this thing, and me not rambling on about stupid stuff like this. So I'll quickly pop in before I finish the video, or not video, but to finish off the hand to show where I'm at. I'm going to give myself a small break because I've been working non-stop relatively for a good few hours and I need some food. And I also kind of want to watch the kill stream for a little while. So I will come back when this is done, and most likely after the kill stream, because we're going to have Bull Blacks on there next, or yeah, I think it's Bull Blacks or one of those guys. And that's going to be a nice little crap show for me to watch, and it's going to be fun. So for right now, time to unmute. Alright, so I'm currently in the process of figuring out how I'm going to attach the head. I took a look at the 3D model and found out that if I add in this little piece right here that you see, I'll be able to slap her head right onto it, and it basically mounts exactly as it should. Give or take. It's still not 100% accurate. I did have it relative right about there actually. So what I need to do now is I need to more properly secure the head, as in add in an actual pole and make a locking system and make it so it's locked down and whatnot. And once I do that, I can go and more cut somewhere right here in the arm and just bend the arm down to where it actually meets the to where it meets like this, to where it's actually covering up this little indentation, so it actually looks right. And then of course the next thing I'll need to do is I'll need to readjust this eye, because you can tell this eye is kind of just going pointing that way while this one's actually looking properly straightforward, which is one of the things I always have problems with when it comes to these models. So first things first is I need to figure out where exactly I'm going to place the pole inside her head, and then go on from there. But currently of course I'm also watching 2 streams, or at least, yeah, so at least that's something to also keep me entertained as I put this thing together. As you can tell, there's the actual piece in Papercraft right there that I was talking about. So now I gotta figure out what pole I want to use, and also figure out where exactly I want to mount it inside Shirley's head. Alright, so the pole for the head isn't going to be this long. I just need this long so I can get it properly mounted onto the face. And here's relatively how far deep the pole's going to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little plate right here to add in the initial set of reinforcements to hold the thing in, and then I'm going to put another piece here and another piece like this. Doing that should allow this pole to stay perfectly still in place. I'll probably also put another little reinforcement piece right around here, and then I'm going to pull the head off completely, and then I'm just going to go through the whole process of fully reinforcing and making sure this pole is secured inside her head. And once that is done and dusted, then I'm going to get then I'm going to start the process of building some type of a holster to actually hold the pole in place and whatnot. But like I said, I need to work on securing the pole inside her face first. So I'm going to go and do that, and I'll come back when I get it done. Also, to give you an idea of what time it is, it's 12:35 a.m. and I want to see how long it'll take for me to set this pole in place. So I will come back when I get that all set up, and we'll see how long it actually took. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes an hour. Again, that's because I gotta wait for the hot glue gun here to heat back up. Though I might swap to the big boy gun when I actually get the thing secured, so I can actually just sit there and just gob everything with hot glue. But one thing at a time. I hate that it took this long, but I finally mounted Shirley's head to the body. Well, not mounted, but I got it set up in a way to where it can relatively hold down and whatnot. I got the pole entrenched inside the head and whatnot, but I don't have the actual supports built inside the body yet, because the PVC piping I got, come on stupid camera, is just too wide, and I really don't want to wrap a bunch of tape around the center of the pole to get it to fit right. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to go to my local hardware store and actually see if I can find some proper wood to actually fit around the pole. Because as you can tell, when it comes to the plates that I have right here to actually hold the head on, they're just it basically goes right between the actual poles. So I really can't I can't really make the pole any thicker. But at least now I do have Shirley's head on her body, which is a definite improvement from where I was earlier in the week. So what I'm going to do again is tomorrow I'm going to get a PVC pipe to fit around the pole and whatnot, or get one that's close enough, and then fully secure her head, or and fully secure her head. And once I fully secure her head, I'm going to do a little cut like I was talking about down here for the arm, so I can actually bend the arm into place like it should, like this. And of course, as you can tell, I still need to figure out the actual true placement of her head, but it's somewhat like this. Once I get all that done and dusted, then the next part will be to try and fix this eye right here, because it's still not 100% right. I did dislodge this section right here, or the hot glue that was behind this section right here. I'll need to do the same thing to this side here, but I'm not going to do that until I make sure I have the head. I'm not going to do that until I make sure I got the head properly mounted on the body and I make sure the head is properly secured. Because the last thing I want to do is start messing with this eye and finalizing it when the head itself isn't actually in its proper placement and I don't have everything properly mounted and whatnot. So once I get that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the other arm. Again, it'll probably take a day or two. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this whole upload. Then I'll just end this whole update. And that's because next I'll be doing will be building out the hair and building out all the little parts that go here and all everything else that goes here to actually basically her hair and all the accessories for her body and everything else. And at that point, I'll be getting way too close to calling her done. So I really don't want to warrant myself actually uploading a video like that, because I'll basically be spoiling the full finished build at that point. So most likely what will happen is there'll be like a 2, maybe 3 week dry period on my YouTube channel for Shirley. I think I might have another video up somewhere maybe later on for Ronka, not Ronka, but Rinko. But I don't know yet because the foam board I got isn't in yet, and holy crap, my fucking wall. My room sucks. Ah. I got some foam. My mother ordered me some foam board, 10 sheets. So once that comes in, I'm going to contact the guy that does the posing for these models, and I'm going to ask him if he can at least add some of the foamers into the Rinko model, so I can at least start the build process for her also. Mainly because right now I still need to go and actually finalize all the parts for Rinko, but that's for a whole different video. So I will stop here so I don't ramble. Alright, so I'm at the very beginning stages of mounting Shirley's head, and the battery for my camcorder is about to die. So I have to make this quick. So right now I got the initial pull in to actually hold it from going left and right to an extent. It'll still move, but that's because I haven't fully secured her head. So the next part I gotta do is I gotta figure out how exactly do I want to go about securing the actual pipe here into place. Because normally when it comes to actually attaching these, I tend to have both sides open so I can actually so I can easily get to both sides. Now it's going to be a bit more of a pain in the ass to get this one done because, well, I really can't get to the other side due to the arm being in place. Excuse me. I have a few ideas of how to actually get this to work. But first thing I need to do is I need a bracer bar right between there, so I can actually mount something. So I can actually add something to mount on to that will actually be a nice robust thing, nice robust anchoring solution. Now I'm going to spend quite a few hours anchoring down the neck, mainly because I'm going to have to wait for my hot glue gun to dry, and I also got to figure out how exactly I want to anchor everything. Because as I think I stated this before, and I'll state it again, when it comes to these models, the only time I use the computer for these things is to just parse out the pieces in Papercraft and print them. Everything else I do basically as I go on. So like I said, all the superstructure and whatnot, like I said in previous builds, is all hand done by me. So each build is going to have a very unique superstructure to fit its needs. And since this one's a little bit more different, I'm going to have to think of some type of solution. Again, I think I have a few ideas of how to get it to work, but I don't know if it'll actually work yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm actually going to put my camcorder on charge. And most likely I'll come back when I actually get Shirley's head properly mounted onto the body. Oh, and of course now Augie starts streaming also. She's, well, in the long run, I mean, we get to hear about Donga and the Donga tribe again, so that's going to be fun. Alright, so I'm in the finalizing stages of getting the pole cemented into the chest cavity. I think I got it in a way to where it's going to work right. I just got to go and fully cement that area down here and just maybe add like a few more pieces of wood and dowel. And then I'm just going to just gob hot glue all over this thing to make sure it's fully secured. It seems to be nice and robust right now, but again, I have to make sure that that it can actually survive the amount of force that the head will be pushing on it when I go to actually attach the hair, because the hair is going to be very back heavy, and with the way the hair is going to work, it's going to want to push this pole inside like this and actually push it outside and whatnot. So I need to make sure that doesn't happen. I got to make sure this whole area is nice and properly reinforced. So I'll be adding at least 1 or 2 more reinforcement bits here to make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah. Also, Augie RFC once again claims another one. What a trash fire this episode is. But it's a glorious trash fire. So now it's 9 p.m. Now I have been working on this pretty much right out of the gate, but as I wait for the hot glue gun to heat up and wait for the hot glue to actually dry, when I actually plaster it onto the actual thing, I am doing other stuff because it takes about like 5 or so minutes for this hot glue to dry to where I can actually go and add the next step on, or for how long it takes the hot glue gun to heat up, which again is also about 5 minutes. So what I need to do now is I need to go and just, let's see if I can make sure I'm actually showing this right. I need to go and just basically just gob all the little connection points right here, like you can see right there for instance, with hot glue. And once I get all that done, then this whole pole here should be pretty much cemented into the body. I'll probably add a little strip, I'll probably add a little piece of wood right here to close off this little strip here. The reason why I cut it off is because when I actually slide the head on and off the body, it actually binds with this little piece right here. And this little piece right here is supposed to be a little bridge that the actual head sits on. But this was getting in the way, so I had to cut it off. So what I'll need to do is I'll need to put a small little connection piece right here, that way so it's nice and robust again. It doesn't seem to really impact how the head sits on the body itself. But I want to have that extra bit of extra security just to make sure the head's properly cemented on the body, it's properly mounted and whatnot. So with that said, what I'll actually do is I will come back when everything's fully complete and actually show you the time difference of how long it took to fully get everything up and running. Though I'm getting to the point now to where I'm also going to have to actually secure the legs to these little feet pads, because when I go to manipulate stuff and whatnot, all these parts constantly move off and whatnot, because again, they're not properly mounted and whatnot. Alright, you can take 30 minutes off of the time. That's because I sat and watched an anime for 30 odd minutes. So take about 30 minutes off that. That gives you how long it took. And I pretty much got everything nice and properly reinforced as I should. I added in a little bracer bar like I initially was talking about. I went and also made sure that that bracer bar is held down by hot glue, so I can put pressure on it without it just collapsing on both sides. And the pole itself seems to be in relative sturdiness. It is going to move no matter how hard I try to secure it, which is okay because I do want it to flex just a tad, but I don't want it to where it'll flex and easily bust off. And I'm thinking with the amount of glue I put in through here and whatnot, and all the extra little reinforcements, which you barely really can't see because I actually really didn't put much in here, it should be more than enough to hold everything down and whatnot. Again, I would like to go a little bit more in depth in reinforcing this thing, but again, I really can't do that with this arm here being in the way. So the next thing I gotta do is I gotta figure out where exactly on this arm I want to do the cut, so I can actually so I can bend the arm properly to the mouth and whatnot. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go out into the shed, and I'm going to spray paint the inner lining of the little piece right here, which is this black piece right here. And of course the reason why I'm going to do that is because you can actually see it when I actually go to put it onto her, onto her body. So I'm trying to keep it consistent, so I'm just going to spray paint the inner part here matte black. And most likely what I'm going to do is and for the other piece, which is pink, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the original model I used this from and basically pull that exact same model and just basically use the inner lining that's actually on that model, and I'll just basically attach it that way. I'll show you what I mean when I go to actually build the inner lining for the purple piece right here. But for right now, I need to work on this. So I'm gonna be having this, so I won't be watching Andy going off, but hopefully I'll be coming back to him just going full-blown rant mode. So I did spray paint the intersection black, but I used gloss black thinking it would actually go to matte. Some parts did go to matte like I thought, but a good chunk of it's still gloss. And since the actual black is kind of matte on the other side, it'll look pretty freaking weird. So there are two things that are most likely going to happen. One, I'm going to get some Rust-Oleum matte black spray paint on Wednesday, or I'm going to I might just reprint this whole thing all over again and just print both sides. That way, I can just have it like that also. But I'll have to wait and see. Now here's what I mean by when it comes to how the little piece there actually works. As you can tell, this looks correct, but you can clearly see this right here, and this is actually supposed to be pink just like this. So I got the model I used, and I got the other side. That way so I can actually just basically print out and hopefully be able to just literally just hot glue the other side to this without a problem. But I have to print that out, of course. I'll most likely be doing that tomorrow since, well, it's getting near 4 a.m. and I really want to go to bed. So my plan for tomorrow is to print off the other section that goes here and see how that goes out. And then I'm actually going to build the other arm. And once I get the other arm built, I'm going to not be uploading for a week or two, because again, at that point I'll be spoiling the full finished model, and I really don't want to do that. So I will come back tomorrow when I see fit. Alright, so here is where I'm at with tonight with Shirley. Tomorrow's, technically later today's mission for Shirley is to fully finish off her arm and hand at the exact same time. That is feasible. It just depends on how lazy I feel. But since I'm getting really close to calling this arm done, I'm most likely going to push across the finish line later today and fully finish off her arm and hand so I can get that done and finished. Then I can start the whole process of finishing up all the other little bits of Shirley that make her who she is. Mainly all the little floof that goes here, floof that goes here, and her hair. Which her hair alone is going to be a massive pain in the butt, but it's not going to be as much of a pain like the hands and whatnot are. But I'm very happy with how close I am to actually calling her complete. But like I said, even though I'm close, I still got about like a month's worth of work. I'll be lucky if I can get everything completed. I'll actually be surprised if I could actually get everything complete within like 2 weeks of me actually uploading this video. But only time will tell. Oh yeah, I also decided to take a look at the life size Shirley that's coming out in Japan. I think they they back-ordered it due to what's currently going on in the world. And I decided to take a look at the pricing and take a look at how much it'll convert in US dollars. Yeah, you keep that 20 grand life size Shirley, Japan. I'm going to keep my about $150 or $200 life size version of Shirley that I built myself. If God forbid something goes wrong with her, like she busts, I can easily, well, I mean not easily rebuild her, but I can rebuild her. If I bought something like this, and this thing broke, because that has happened to a few of the life-size rim models, I think it would be practically impossible to repair, let alone impossible to replace. So, yeah. I mean, I would love to get a hold of this thing just to at least see what the actual sound system sounds like compared to what I have on my Shirley. But again, also if I got a hold of this thing, I've absolutely nowhere to put it. And also, I don't got 20 grand to spend on something like this. But yeah, for me, I would love to own an official life-size product, but I don't got 20 grand. If I had 20 grand, I'll be putting that towards a car, or maybe even some type of a down payment on a house or something. I don't know. Most likely a car. Mainly so I can actually get off. Mainly so I can actually get out on my own and whatnot. But again, I don't got 20 grand to do that. So I'll just leave it as that, and I'll come back later. All right. So the arm is fully complete. It's about 9:20 p.m. I'm going to take a small little break, about 15 minutes, to finish watching this stupid show. Then I'm going to go get the parts for her hand all put together, and hopefully I'll come back around maybe 10 or so and start the whole process on building her hand. Alright, so it's 10. American Gay Guy was very boring. So I basically just ignored it and just started the whole process of parsing out the pieces of the hand and whatnot. And currently right now I got all the parts that make up the palm. I just gotta go in there and refine this little section right here. But I just want to make sure I got everything it requires for the palm, so I can just get all the palm pieces into their own individual sections, and then I can start the process on the fingers. But the one thing I noticed that when it comes to this particular hand is, I don't know how well you can actually see this, but this area right here doesn't exactly meld right in Papercraft. I'll get it to work. But I think maybe the guy had a hard time in Blender getting this to function right. But either way, it should work for me. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm spending like 30 minutes on this little area right here trying to get it to properly meld right. You can kind of see how it just doesn't go exactly correct, and it's not a smooth transition. It's hard to explain, but again, it looks to be a bit of a pain in the butt, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, if all else fails, I'll just do a little bit of custom work to the model right here to get it to function right. It's not going to be the first time I had to do a little bit of custom cutting and whatnot to get the model to fit. This has happened in the past. It's just something I want to point out when it comes to these model builds. So I will continue watching this boring episode. I have no idea what's going on, and it's only 2 minutes in, and I'm going to continue parsing out this. Alright, so I got to the little part I was talking about, and I made it a bigger obstacle than it actually was. All I really gotta do now is just put this flap into a general position of where I like it, and then just line the top of it with hot glue and try and make it as close of a seam as possible. It's just a failure in Papercraft's part, and not a failure in mine or the guy that does the posing for me's fault. It's just Papercraft being, well, Papercraft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the palm of the hand, and I'm going to give myself a shower so I can wash my hair. Alright, and with that I finally got Shirley's hand done. And there are currently storms around my area, so we'll have to contend with that. But this shouldn't take long because, again, there's not much to talk about. But as you can tell, I finally got the hand complete. It was a pain in the butt to put together, but this hand was pretty atrocious compared to this one right here. It was just tedious, if anything else. So really, all I gotta do now is just start the build process for everything else, which is the little floof areas. The little floof clothing goes here. I gotta build her hair, gotta build a little floof piece that goes here. There's a bunch of other little bits and pieces I'm forgetting to actually say what I need to build. But again, the main part of Shirley, which is her whole body and everything, is finally complete. So now all I need to do is just finish off everything else. And as I said previously, I'll not be uploading anything for Shirley until she's complete. I'm hoping within 1 to 2 weeks. It may be quicker, it may be longer. It depends on how I feel, because I don't have a timeline, and even though I am uploading this to my YouTube channel, I'm still building this on my own accord. I don't have any set timelines or anything. If I had a anime convention to go to, then it'll spur me a bit more to actually put this thing together, but as we all know, that's not going to happen this year. The one thing that's still bugging me to this day, though, is this eye right here. Hopefully when I wake up later today, it's currently nearly 6:30 a.m. Hopefully later today, when I wake up, before I start building the whole hair and whatnot, I'll get the eye right here figured out. If not, I'll probably just end up leaving it like this, because if I mess with this eye too much, I might actually physically damage the actual paper surrounding the eye, and it will become irreparable. And I really don't want to rebuild this face all over again. So if I have a botched eye right here to where it just looks a little off, I'll unfortunately have to live with it. Again, I don't got 20 grand for the official Shirley model. So I'll make do with a few little inconsistencies, but again, this is made out of paper, so there's always going to be inconsistencies. But I thought before I end this off, I'll actually show what this sound system sounds like. Granted, this is coming through YouTube audio compression and whatnot, so I have no idea how accurate this will be, but in person, it sounds decent. Granted, I'm using a $20 Bluetooth amplifier hooked up to my $150 FiO M6 right here. So the easy solution for me to do is to get a proper amplifier that takes like 9 volts to run, instead of this little itty bitty amp I'm using right here. But with that said, let's show you what this thing sounds like. Hopefully I shouldn't get struck for this one, especially considering I'm only be playing like maybe like 30 seconds worth. I want the other one. There we go. When it comes to these speakers, I am driving them at max, but I'm running them through a cheap little amplifier. The reason why they sound the way they do is due to the amplifier itself. If I could manage to find a more adequate amp for these speakers, it should sound better. But again, I don't really have to worry about that yet, because I'm not going to a convention, and I still got a few weeks to finish this thing off, or at least I got a few weeks before she's fully finished. So hopefully for the done video, I should have a more proper audio solution for Shirley here. But yeah, I'm finally at a point now to where I'm fairly happy with her. If anything, I might actually take a few days off so I can actually do a few games I need that I've been wanting to do for a while now. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. Since I got to a point with Shirley, I'm going to most likely be taking about a week off. So yeah, about like 3 weeks actually before I upload at the minimum. So yeah. Plus you can kind of understand why I want to take a week off. Thought I'll also add in what I'll be doing for the first week or so that I'm taking off, and playing this game, watching Trash Fires or live streams, hoping Gloom streams tonight. And I'm currently also editing the video together, so I'll also add this in. I'll be adding this C-130 or whatever it is that occasionally flies around my house. This was actually recorded quite early on in the initial record process for this part, so whatever I say in this video will be out of context for the rest of this video. Hence why I'm putting this at the very end if anyone's interested in seeing a airplane flying around my house and whatnot. It's one of the very few things I like about where I live. Occasionally the Air Force will just do little we'll do circles around my neighborhood or around my area, and it's fun to watch. And I lost it. I hear its engine spinning. They're definitely spooling them up a lot more higher now. I love this Panasonic zoom. I love where I live. Just sit back and watch this big old C-13 just fly around. Trying to crank it towards me, but it's not able to go full tight. Maybe next pass. Ooh, my back can't take that turn.